This is INCRadio DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Welcome back to another episode of Explore Mountain States.
That's it for the weather
and
update.
Moving on to our district news update.
Only here
on INCRadio Mountain States.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. You're tuning in live to INCRadio Mountain States. I'm your host for today, Sister Princess Persona, broadcasting from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. And we are so excited to have all of you joining us here today. Thank you for taking time out of your Saturday or Sunday to join INCRadio Mountain States. It is currently 4:04 p.m. Pacific time, 5:04 Mountain Time, and 7:04 a.m. in the Philippines. So hello to all of those here on the west side, and good morning to those in the east side of the world. I'm also joined by Brother Ron Pabletti in the background for BTS. Hi, Brother Ron.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Princess.
So we're so excited to have everybody here today. We do have some beautiful panelists who we will introduce in just a moment. But of course, we want to introduce a topic. And if you didn't already know what our topic is, it is uplift and empower. So from being a parent and helping a child or your child to go through school, or for brethren supporting each other during the performance of their duties, or even just friends reminding each other to stay strong, whether it be in school or in their faith. We want to highlight how motivation can come in both big and small ways. So this episode will emphasize that we are never alone in our efforts, and how strong our relationships are, whether it be at home, whether it be among our peers, and with those inside the church, to help us keep going with joy and with purpose. Now, if you are watching on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like this video, and if you haven't hit the notification bell, please do ring the notification bell so you can get a ding every time an INCRadio episode comes out. And leave your comments and your greetings with your hashtag local congregations. We do see your chats, and I have them right on the side for me, which I will shout out in just a moment. But please leave all of your comments and greetings and stay engaged with us in the live chat. We'll have a discussion, and we always love hearing your insight with us. That way you can be also part of the discussion. Now, I want to give a shout out to Camario Oka, who said, good morning here in the Philippines. Enjoy watching here on INCRadio Mountain States Satellite Studios. And greetings from a local congregation of Brixtonville, district of Caloocan North. And then Brother Anthony Arangay is with us as usual. He says, good afternoon po to everyone from the Arangays in Salt Lake City. And he said, wow, nice PC game. This is actually my work setup. I work remotely, but thanks for that, Anthony. My older brother helped set it up. If I could use it for gaming, I would, but I don't know how to game. So thank you, though. I tried my hardest to make it look good. And then the Brother Aaron is in the chat as well. So if you see him there, please give him a big hello, as Brother Anthony is doing. If you haven't shared this video already, please share this link. That way we can get more of you to watch our INCRadio show. We have 7 watching, so let's bump it up into the double digits if we can. I do have a question for those in the live chat. Since we're talking about uplifting and empowering, we do want to give you a food for thought kind of question, right? So who motivates you the most, and how do you uplift and empower the people in your life? Okay, so think of who motivates you, and then think about how you're able to provide that similar support. How do you uplift and empower those to the people in your life? And if you have an answer, of course, share it in the comments. That way we can read it later and then have it be part of our discussion. So moving on to our beautiful panelists who have joined us today. They are familiar faces who we love seeing, and we've gotten a few moments, more than just a few moments, but actually much time to get to know them, especially here in the District of Mountain States. Of course, we would love to introduce our sisters, Sister Julie and Sister Jasmine. Hello, po. How are you?
Hi there.
We're excited to have both of you. We have Sister Julie here. Hi, Sister Julie. Could you reintroduce yourself? I know you're quite a familiar face here on INC Radio and especially in the district, but if you could reintroduce yourself for any of our new viewers who may be watching the show.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sister Julie Moranin Lopez. I come to you from the local congregation of Blue Diamond. Happy to serve as a district booklet officer as well in the Leadership Enhancement Committee. I enjoy all of these times we get to chat here together on INC Radio, MTS, and it's a very fun topic, one that is dear to my heart as well. So I'm so happy to be here with you today.
We're excited to have you here, and we're going to actually rewind later in the show back to when you mentioning your district office, because it is aligned with our topic with leadership enhancement and development, and a lot of that requires uplifting and empowering. So I'm excited to have you here, Sister Julie, and we're going to go ahead and introduce Sister Jasmine. Hi, Sister Jas, how are you?
Hello, thank you for having me. Sister Jasmine Bayabo, also from the local congregation of Blue Diamond. I too love, INC Radio Mountain States, most especially. Love having discussions, just to see and help us grow. So I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful show today.
Yes, we're excited to have you. And, with Sister Jasmine, getting to know you, I have experienced a lot of motivation coming from you and our heartfelt talks. So I mentioned this during our pre-show prior to us going live, that both of you are perfect for this topic itself. So we're really excited to hear your insight. And so Brother Ron has already asked the question in the live chat that we asked earlier: who motivates you the most, and how are you able to uplift and empower those in your life? So the live chat will be watching out for your answers. But while we are waiting for all of you to answer in the live chat, we're going to go straight into our topic. Now, our topic is divided into 4 aspects. We have family, we have friendships and peer support, we have professional and academic support, and then lastly, we'll be closing out the show talking about performing with our fellow brothers and sisters in the faith. So with our family to portion, encouragement within the home really builds emotional safety. It strengthens the bonds, especially amongst family members, allowing each family member to feel valued and supported, especially when we go through challenging times, right? As a family, you're going to go through your ups and your downs. And so having motivation or having that support system really to continue to keep you grounded and to uplift you is so important. So yes, I want to start with Sister Julie. What are some small ways with your family that you like to show encouragement to your children or to your spouse, Brother Johnny?
I like to catch them doing something good. So it makes it more natural for me to say words of praise and keep up the good work kind of thing. When I see them doing something that is very helpful around the house, and when they do well in their exams, sometimes the kids, they will text us in the middle of the day. I look forward to those little messages where they say, I did this on my test today, or and sometimes it's a good news and sometimes it's not so good news. So either way, I say, well, great job. And then when it's not so good news, it's kind of like, well, you gave it a good try, and yeah. You'll get it next time. And and then when I hear from my husband at work as well, how is your day? And then just little check-ins, during the day, they mean a lot.
Yes.
It adds up, I think. And I feel a void when I don't hear from them throughout the day.
Oh.
So, yeah. So it's not it's not only from their side, but from my side too, because then they thought of me, to fill me in on their day. Um, so little things like that, I would say. And I always tell them my hugs are free. And those you've heard me say that phrase, and I
Yes.
say it to the choir and to all friends. God gave me extremely long extremities, not only to play volleyball with or to reach food at the table, but to give hugs. So they're free.
Yes.
And, ask me anytime.
Love it. Yes, you. And then if it's not a hug, you like to do like a little shoulder squeeze and you just do your little good job. So when you say you tell that your family good job, you also do that with me. And for those who don't already know my history with Sister Julie, she was an organist mentor. So I can tell you she's one of the most patient and uplifting and motivating organist mentors I've had. And so yeah, I can see how when you say you do that with your family, because you did that a lot with me and you still do it with me. You're like, good job, sweetie, or yeah, I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, yeah. Thank you. So no, and it does really help me. Whenever I do hear those words, it's so nice to hear those words of encouragement. So I love that, Sister Julie. Thank you. Other Jazz, do you do anything similar, or how do you motivate your boys in your house?
Yeah, so similar. And then I do apologize because today is garbage day. So if you do hear a garbage truck in the background, I truly do apologize for that. But kind of going along with what Julie had mentioned, just like to hear from my family throughout the day. I think that's a huge thing too, just kind of backing it up a little bit in regards to encouraging and, uplifting our family members. They, of course, have to feel comfortable with being able to open up to you and share those small wins or even those little things that maybe they feel defeated in, just being able to open up and because that means too that they're looking to you maybe for comfort, maybe for guidance, and maybe reaching out, just kind of saying like, "Hey, mom, today kind of had a rough day," or "Today was great." Marlon, my middle son, he works with patients, and he likes to tell us of things that he was inspired with his patients, and I think that that's very awesome, just to kind of see that growth that they have. And my hugs too are free, just like Ata Julie's. I don't think my extremities are as long as hers are. However, I will use them to the best of my ability that I can. I love giving hugs. If anyone knows me, they understand that, I love to give hugs. But I think it's just that having that communication and being open, and also too for ourselves, being able to share like, oh man, kind of had a rough day today, and just opening it up in that sense as well, because that way too they can reciprocate that, and they can see too that even though we do uplift our family members just in that little the little day-to-day sharing of our experiences and all that, but that you too kind of need that lifting up as well.
Why do you feel it's important? I mean, to keep that open communication and create that safe space? Because I see what you're saying, but I kind of want to move further into that, what you're talking about, because I feel like my mom has given me a safe enough space where I feel comfortable enough to go home after a long rough day and just cry in her arms. So when you're instilling that type of mindset of open communication while still empowering them or still encouraging them, why do you feel that that's important within a family?
I feel that it is important to also show that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to allow those feelings to show, to express yourself. I think maybe there was like a stigma, for those of us who maybe grew up, I don't know, whatever generation you may be, but maybe there were families who didn't really share their feelings or didn't really open up as much, just because things were a bit more black and white back then. I was blessed enough to kind of had like a gray, like a gray side kind of sort of thing. My mom is very black and white when it comes to a lot of things, but also she likes to shall I say fish? Love you, mom. Okay. She also likes to fish, fish
Yeah.
to kind of see, are you going to talk to me about certain things and open up? I think that's good also for personal growth. You want to make sure that that bond is really strong. And I must say, it's not that in sharing your feelings or sharing things that happen throughout your day, you're not afraid of being judged by your parents or even your children, right? Because I do like to share a lot with my kids.
Mhm.
You have that understanding of like, okay, they're not going to judge me in the sense of like put me down, but also they'll set me straight, right? If I need to be set straight.
Mhm. Yes, no, I agree. And I feel like I can see that from an outside perspective, that bond that your family has, and even you, Sister Julie, in raising your children to have that strong communication between parents and children. And I can also see how loving your kids are, just because, as Ate Julie mentioned earlier, I'm like switching back and forth between Ate and sister. It's like force of habit. But with Ate Jules mentioning earlier that she gives those words of encouragement, and then how the way you're talking about your family at the Jazz, we can see it in how your sons are and how they talk to others. It's one thing I just want to acknowledge is like that's a manifestation of your parenting, and I feel like the right parenting to be able to do that and create that space and allow that openness, and then to see how they are with their friends as well, is also a tall tale of how you've raised them as kids, right? At the Jules with Caitlin and Jade, and I've known them since when Caitlin was just a tiny baby, and then when Jaden was in the womb. So I was seeing them in Blue Diamond now with their friends and seeing how they are and the friendships that they have. Similar to how you've created this space with your family, why do you feel it is important to create a similar space with your friends, with their friends?
Yes, we've been very blessed to have a extended family in the Blue Diamond congregation. I've mentioned it before to others that my two children and two other pairs of siblings were the original CWS choir of the local Blue Diamond, and up to now they are still very close friends. And their friendship has grown and expanded to more of their peers that are in the CWS officers or choir members in the Binhi, both local and district. And it's really nice seeing them flourish. When I tell them, this is your safe space, you can tell me anything, good or bad, and I'll tell you from my heart what I know. And most of what I know comes from the Bible, like from church. So, our Almighty God is the wisest one. I'm not all knowing everything. So I just tell them I'm just following the roadmap that God put out. So hopefully all of us, keep walking on the right road here. But with that, I tell them, okay, if I don't have the answer, then we can always pray together too. So I just leave them that open, and I let them know, I'd rather you be open about it and not hide anything, because if you hide something, it might get to that point where, oh, you're in too much trouble now, and it's too late for me or daddy to help you.
Yes.
So I've always put that out there, that I'll tell you the truth from my experience and from what God says, and then we can always pray on the things that we don't know quite yet, and we'll go through it together, kind of a thing. So that they know that we're always present for them.
Yes. No, I love that safe space you're creating. And with that, I feel like that becomes what do you call it? what's the word, like a moral belief that that's something that's instilled with them, and then that translates through their other friendships where they seek this honesty from others to make sure the friendships are healthy, just as their relationships are healthy within the family. And with this, when it comes to the friendships, for the relationships at home kind of translates into how we are as friends. Do we feel that it's important? And I do also want to ask the live chat this: that it's important to have friendships where it's encouraging or motivating. I know from my personal experience with the circle I have, I mentioned this prior to the show going live, and I mentioned how a lot of my successes I feel like are because of my circle and the motivation I feel from my friends. I see how successful they are and I see how motivated they are in their lives. And I feel like that has affected me. And, we, we wanted to ask, well, Ate Julie, I actually wanted to ask you, because when you came to Las Vegas, your circle was quite large, and it still is. You knew a lot of people, and so I guess I always saw you and even my brothers with such a large circle of friends, and how fun it was to be with everybody, and how motivating it was to be with everyone. Do you find that it's important to have these types of friendships where you do motivate each other, more than from time to time, but like frequently whenever you see each other?
Yes, absolutely. To have that social support around you, whether it be your friends at school, work, or most importantly for us at church, um, it it gives you like safety net.
Hmm.
You sometimes somebody's up in front and is the cheerleader, go go go, and then you have others that are not having the best of days, so
Hmm.
at least you can hold on to each other and still keep moving forward,
Yes.
and find happiness. um they are good with greeting each other every time they see one another, and makes me happy when they want to make sure if someone's in the corner, I
Mhm.
see them actually doing a purposeful kindness to go to
Mhm.
that person and greet them and say how are you, and
Mhm.
I think it's a wonderful thing for them to express themselves in such a gentle and kind way, and then they also do it in a joking manner too, and that's fun to watch.
Yeah, 100%. No, I agree. We have more to discuss, so we are going to take a quick station break. But when we come back, we will continue this conversation and kind of move into the sections of our professional and peer support, as well as supporting our brethren in the faith. But again, we'll be on a quick station break, so continue to watch INCRadio Mountain States, and we'll be right back.
You are listening to Iglesia ni Cristo Radio, the voice of truth.
When was the last time you made someone smile? When was the last time you made friends with others?
Yes, please. Hi, this is Amaya. Hello, Amaya. Let's play together.
Include, invite, befriend. A small gesture of friendship can make someone's day. A message from INCRadio Mountain States Satellite Studio.
And we are back here with INCRadio Mountain States, currently 4:26 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you for continuing to stay tuned. Before we move back to our topic discussion, we do want to see what's going on in the district. So let's go ahead and see what's happening in What's Up Mountain States.
What's up, Mountain States?
So there's actually many things that have been happening in the district. One of them was our CFO project management training. So this was held for the district officers and the local congregation CFO leadership. With this, we were able to learn about project management and how this can translate into planning for things that happen in our CFO or Christian family organizations. You know, we wanted to be able to kind of lay this roadmap as to how we can plan for activities properly, right? Executing these activities with proper steps to plan. And project management is a professional aspect or a career that focuses on a lot of planning. And this is something that Brother JM, who was able to present this portion, was able to really emphasize here, making sure that when we're planning for our CFO activities or Christian family organizations, we want to make sure that we plan ahead and plan properly. And then just last Sunday, we held our sign language spelling bee. This was spearheaded by our CSD, which is a Christian Society for the Deaf, and our CWS or Christian, our Children's Worship Service. And so CSD and CWS or DCWS was able to sponsor this activity or spearhead it. We were able to have a lot of participation, around, I think, over 20 CWS members. That includes those in Nevada and those who were out of the Nevada region. They attended via WebEx or participated then. And we held it at one of the libraries nearby our local congregation of Las Vegas's chapel. It was super fun, and it was super cute to see them be able to spell in sign language. I honestly think they knew more than me. They were able to say their alphabets so quickly. So shout out to all the local congregations who were able to participate in this CWS spelling bee. And then after, we did have a TSV talk workshop. So this was a technical support for streaming video. So of course, we want to make sure that we're properly training our officers who are involved in TSV, especially because they do handle a lot of the technical aspects when it comes to not just our special worship services or our regular worship services or our special gatherings, but they really just, you know, it's a lot of tech that you need a lot to know. It's a lot of knowledge. And so we want to make sure that they're properly equipped to be able to perform their duties as TSV. That way there isn't any technical difficulties that arise, or if there are technical difficulties, they can be able to navigate through making sure they resolve any of the issues. And lastly, we want to promote our district networking and career development event. This is going to be hosted by the Christian Employees Association, or CEA. And so with this, their target audience is going to be those who are entering the professional work field, or those who are even still are wanting to network, any job seekers, but of course they're also inviting those who are already established in their professions. With CEA, they want to be able to provide these workshops during this activity and allow for networking to happen. And I want to shout out this association because they've been working really, really hard with this event. It's going to be tomorrow at the Lotus Studio here in the Nevada region at 3 p.m. So if you have time or if you need more information, please contact either your local CEA officer, or if you need help getting in touch with any CEA officers, you can contact your local CFO or Christian family organization president or officer, and then they could be able to connect you. And I think it's super important for this event. Really, I'm very excited. I'll be attending it because, you know, with those who are in the professional workforce, some, especially those who are early in their career, need assistance with trying to figure out how to network or how to really establish themselves in whether it be in their company or in their career itself. And then on the other side, you have those who are seeking jobs. You know, the job market is not easy right now. And so being able to have workshops that allow you to, take a look at what your skills are and how to put it in a resume, or how to be able to kind of sell yourself in an interview. These are supports and resources that they will provide during this event as well as future events. So please, if you can make it would be lovely and really exciting to have everybody there and to join and to see what it's all about. And if you're not looking to further yourself in your career, or if you're not looking for a job, just come anyway and just see what CEBSI is about, because they really want to make an impact and kind of give an insight as to what CEBSI does, because they want to, from Brother EJ, he is the president of CEBSI. He wants to be able to show brethren here in Mountain States who is CEBSI and what is CEBSI, what are we about. So we're excited to see everyone who is joining. So with that said, moving forward with our topic discussion, we do want to look at the professional aspect and our peer support when it comes to uplifting and motivating. So, I've said this before in previous shows that a lot of the topics that I end up producing or hosting for end up tying into my personal life. And so I've mentioned my shift in careers and transitioning out of one field and into another, which is why I'm going to tomorrow's event as well, is to really help with my professional development in healthcare as of right now. So I guess I want to tie this into this portion of our topic discussion as to why, uplifting and empowering each other in the professional development aspect, or even in our peer support, if we're in school or, if we're taking our college courses, why is that important? Sister Jazz, I'll go ahead and go to you and ask you, when it comes to this professional or peer support, why do you believe it's important? I know we talk about the importance of each aspect, but specifically when it comes to our careers or it comes to our academics, how does being motivated by those in our circle professionally or academically, how does that affect us or impact us?
Okay, big one for me, I think.
I know it was very wordy, and I just give it all to you.
No, it's totally fine. Definitely appreciate that. Actually, I did want to say too, usually writers, right? They write about things that they know. So like what you mentioned, when you produce or you host and it ties back to your personal life, that's okay. Writers do that all the time. So there's kind of that. I am going to get a little bit more personal, as everyone knows me to be. So I just want to give fair warning that, honey, I'm going to be mentioning you. Kind of going into this professional and academic support, mainly with my husband, Brother Mark. For those of you who don't know, here in Mountain States, he's the district booklet president, and it's extremely important for me to be supportive of him in his duties, in all, everything that he does. More recently, he did make the big leap to, and I'm not going to share his age, but you may ask me on the side if you'd like, okay? But he did make the big leap of wanting to go back to school. He is in the medical profession. He has been working as a phlebotomist for, a number of years, over 10 years, most definitely. And excellent individual when it comes to that. When he draws my blood, I tell you, I don't think he's able to, but from what I hear from his patients and his coworkers, that he's wonderful. However, he did want to make a shift because he loves airplanes, for those who don't know. And sorry again, hon, kind of sharing here. He studied into like aeronautics engineering for for a little bit before we met. And I kind of nudged him like, hey, why not go back to school? We have 2 college age kids right now, and our youngest one, he will be a junior next year. Mark didn't feel that, he's adequate, to be able to do so. He felt like maybe his busy schedule, I was going to say age, but I'll leave that I'll leave that in the air, that he wouldn't be able to do it. But I told him that he can do it. He can do it. And first things first, to have devotional prayer, which he did have. He had his devotional prayers, and I let him know, even till now, till this very moment, I got your back, hon. We had to sit down with the boys and say, okay, these are the things that we are going to be faced with, and we're just looking for everyone's support, everyone to kind of like take on a little bit more, whether it's like at home or to be able, like rides. Hey, you guys got to wake yourselves up in the morning because, that's not going to be able to do it, a little bit more responsibility. So everyone was on track there. So I think it's really huge to have that support when it comes, to your profession and to your academics. Even in the boys going to school, kind of telling us about like how their day was or things that they want to pursue. And believe you me, our eldest son, I think he's probably changed his major twice, if I'm not mistaken. Just kind of picking his brain and just being supportive of him and knowing that we are here for you, however long this road stretches out. You have our support. Talk to us, communicate with us, because we want to make sure that you are successful, that you have that confidence, that you need to continue to pursue what you would like to pursue. And so long as, and everyone understands this, then it never interferes with our duties and our obligations.
100%. I feel like I can relate to Kuya Mark in that sense where you're making that shift. And, there are a lot of factors that will kind of make you feel like you've hit a wall. One thing I've learned is you're never too old to learn more. And you're never too old to do anything really. I feel like my barrier is thinking I'm never good enough or I don't know enough, but it kind of goes back to like my circle and my friendships that are so supportive of me. Sister Angela Mendez, she yelled at me one time and it kind of just stuck in my brain. And so she's my voice of reason that yells at me, that little voice that yells. And what she yelled at me was, what is the evidence? What is the evidence that you're not smart enough or you're not good enough for this? Because there's no evidence. And so, with you pushing Green Mark to pursue what he wants, and with Sister Angela yelling at me, telling me there's no evidence, that I feel like already shows like just one person can be so impactful in these different aspects of our lives, and how we view things and how we see and have this perspective on things, and I of course at the end we want to make sure that whatever we do pursue and what we're motivated to try to achieve, it doesn't interfere with our duties. Sister Julie, I'll close off asking you, right, with when it comes to the performances of our duties, right, it's always important to continue to uplift each other, and I see that in a lot in you, with making sure that you give your reminders, whether it's a firm reminder to make sure we don't stray away or a continuous reminder to continue on the path that we're on. The question that I've asked for each aspect of that we've kind of touched on today is why is that important? Why is it important that we continue to support our fellow brothers and sisters in the faith and the performances of our duties?
Well, yes. First and foremost is it's just out of love, love for them and love for God. We don't want to lose anyone along the way. Always make sure that everyone just keeps moving forward towards that ultimate goal of reaching our salvation and the holy city. And in our journey, our duties and our worship services to God are a source of strength. So like I said, sometimes we we take turns. Someone might be having the best of times and some are in the worst of times. But when you're there together through it, it's much more doable, whether it's in your professional life or your academic life or now in your spiritual life. You always need someone in your corner. I always try to ask my children, God will bless you with good friends, and pray that through your friends, you will hear his voice as well. Mm-hmm. So anyone like Sister Jazz, I cherish her as not only as a friend, but also as a choir leader. I look forward to hearing her words of encouragement every time. Although I would say I'm a seasoned officer. And it's very gracious that Princess considers me as ate. I haven't moved up the totem pole yet of the different of ways of greeting me or addressing me. But still, even with these years of serving God, there are still his words of wisdom that come through others that are younger than us. Mm-hmm. So I say, we don't underestimate the youth. There's much to learn from them. I try to inhale and soak in their vibrant energy as much as I can, and just keep going, just keep going. So it is a cycle. It goes around, and it's nice when we can take turns in encouraging one another. That's the time where we can share God's love through simple gestures.
Yes, well said, Ate. I do want to read one final comment before we close our show. This is from Brother Anthony Rungai. He said, "You can really tell that this is the true church because brethren automatically treat each other as family and automatically work in accomplishing goals together." Yes, and a lot of this is with a lot of the motivation that I have in my life and that we can see from, those inside the church. It comes from each other, and it's the love of the brotherhood too, right? Encouragement is a powerful gift that we can give each other, whether it's at home or among friends, at work, school, or especially in the church, right? Uplifting one another strengthens our relationships, and it really helps build our confidence. And it reminds us that we're never alone in this journey in life, right? When we lead with love and we lift each other up and empower each other, we create stronger families, stronger friendships, stronger communities, and most especially stronger bonds with brethren inside the church within our faith. So hopefully any of these parts of our discussion that we had today was able to be insightful to you and give you a different perspective on anything. We're so grateful to have all of you joining us today. And for those in the live chat, thank you so much for sending your greetings and for participating in today's show. We want to thank all of you, thank our beautiful panelists, and thank you, Brother Ron, for being behind the scenes as well. And we want to give our special thank yous, of course, to our beloved church administration, especially Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our executive minister, Brother Angelo Aranya Manalo, our CEO, president of CEBSI and CFO coordinator, Brother Barrington, or Brother Barry Thompson, our district minister, Brother Oliver Canmas, our assistant district minister, Brother Jay Agustin, our CFO overseer, Brother Manley and Dyer, our executive producer, the district multimedia family, and of course, again, all of the avid listeners here on INC Radio. That is all the time that we have today. But again, we love having you. We thank you so much for always watching and tuning into INC Radio Mountain States. Be sure to always watch INC Radio DCEM 954, changing lives through God's words. Up next is INC Radio Canada. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.